Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Caucus show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. Dimitri Cray is out of the building today, but I got my man Donovan Sadiq in the building, and I am the 5-star general. Say, man, Beto ORourke came to Houston, and the Negroes look like they're getting ready to fall for the politics again. Say, let's talk about it, man. And there was an invasion of white people in Fifth Ward, Texas yesterday. Let's talk about it, man. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for taking the time out to tune in. Dimitri K is out the building tonight. She had a prior engagement, so me and Donovan get to light it up by ourselves tonight. So you know we ain't going easy. We going hard in the paint. I can tell you that much. Well, I tell you what, these people with ERCOT, you know, we had the big freeze early in the year, and you know, because they say we was using too much energy. And then all of a sudden, everything went down and we damn near froze our asses off. Well, now they're saying we're using too much energy and you need to cut back on your energy use. They want you to run your air conditioner at 78 degrees. They want you to unplug things. And hold on a second, man. It's 100 degrees out here, man. And y'all playing, I guess the generator's getting ready to go down again. You legislators that went to Austin, Texas while in session, y'all should have addressed this, because it ain't no way in hell we gonna survive this Texas heat if these things go down again. And they really need to look into that, Donovan, because this is starting to become pitiful. It's starting to become pitiful. You know, we pay all this tax money, and this is the type of service we get. You politicians really need a special session to figure out what you got to do to get on a real live energy grid that doesn't go down every time it gets too hot or too cold. What's going on, my friend?
Man, you guys are probably sitting there wondering, why do I got my Desert Storm, Desert Shield hat? It is so hot out here. I felt like I was back in the Middle East during the Gulf Wars. That's how hot it is out here. It's over 102 degrees where I'm at. At least I'm not in Phoenix. It's averaging 117 there, dry heat. So that's a good thing there. My niece is out in Phoenix, so good luck to her. My man Eric, I hope I said this right, Eric Aluso. I was out in Moreno Valley Day. I thought about Donovan. Yes, if you're in Moreno Valley and you're by the gate, the March Air Reserve gate, I live right down the street from where that gate is, so I'm not far from that. So glad to have you in the neighborhood. You weren't far from me, brother. You were not far from me. Moreno Valley High School, I live right down the street from it. So if you're in that area, you're in my neighborhood. But in the news today, how many of you guys saw this weekend the Mike Lindell frankly talking point in regards to why this country's so messed up and Donald Trump got cheated? You had your girls there, Diamond and Silk. They were bringing out some good points and just dropping stuff. It was so pitiful that people basically started walking out when Mike Lindell, the pillow guy, started talking. Donald Trump looked like he was on some kind of medication or something. He was all swollen in his eye and all that other good stuff. And it was just another point of them talking about this is what they're going to ride to the midterm to see if everybody's going to get some traction about he's been cheated. And, you know, the election was, you know, Donald Trump said this. He talked to some pollers, some of the best pollers out there in the nation, and they said that if you get at least 64 million votes, you got the election in the bag. See, but what they're not telling him is for years, there's been so many people that have been disenfranchised that they stopped voting altogether for years. Some people hadn't voted in 20, 30 years until this idiot got into office. So even though Trump got 74 million votes, he keeps discounting the 81 million that Joe Biden got. So you know, they're going to run this thing all the way through, and it's just going to be one of those things. And also, Joe Biden, your president, is in Europe. He's going to meet with Putin. He says, I'm going to stare him in the eye and see if he has a soul. But I don't want to be too confrontational with him because he's white just like me. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he was saying.
He might be white just like him, but Putin is a gangster. And you can go over there with that foolishness if you want, man. You mess around in Air Force One and won't come home. You know, Putin don't play them kind of games. But, you know, yesterday, I'm out and want to thank everybody that helped out yesterday. We were able to service 2 different communities. We went over to Scott Plaza and Kings Row, and then we ended up across from the Beto rally at Finnegan Park. And I found something very strange about the rally. There was an invasion of white people in Fifth Ward, Texas. Now, I didn't know they had that many white people that lived in Fifth Ward, but it was hundreds and hundreds of white people that ended up in this rough neighborhood, for those that feel it's rough, you know, but they ended up in the heart of Fifth Ward, Texas at Finnegan Park, right across the street from the Coke Apartments, Gladiator School. And, you know, a few of them ended up walking around, and some black folk out there was over, walked around, and we was over there giving away free clothes for the kids. And of course, we had some conversations. And the thing is that I find amazing, as soon as you find the next great white politician, black folk, you ready to jump on the train and do what you need to do. And yet we don't get anything out the deal. I really don't think we want anything out the deal. I think we just, at the end of the day, are comfortable just voting for anybody that everybody seems to get behind. What makes people feel that Beto ORourke would be a great governor for the state of Texas? I know we dealing with Hot Wheels. So, you know, everybody want Hot Wheels out of there, sort of like Trump. So you willing to take anything that come down the pipe, thinking that these people gonna do what's right by you. And all these elected officials that were there. And I want to ask you your opinion, because you know more about this politic game than me. Of course, we know that the Democrats walked out of the Texas House and didn't allow SB 7 to be voted on. They didn't have a quorum. So educate the people on what's really going to happen in special session, because some people saying, well, they shouldn't go back in. By law, they don't have a choice. They have to go back in. Now, what you need to understand, they got to cut some deals, because if they don't cut some deals and they never get the majority, they'll never get anything passed in that house again. So they got to go back in. Right now, it sounds good. But what's your opinion on when they do go back in? What do you think will happen? And by law, what needs to happen?
Well, you know, what's going to happen is what's been happening, in my opinion, around the nation with the Democratic Party. They're going to go back in there. They gave you the show you wanted to see. You guys wanted to see some fight. They're going to walk out. We walking out. Ski-wee to the polls, right? They're going to go back in there, and they are going to totally capitulate to whatever the Republican and what's his name, Speedy Wheels wants. They're just going to capitulate. Hot Wheels, whatever he wants. They're going to capitulate, because that's how the Democratic Party rolls. It's the Democratic Party is the show. The Republican Party is the I'm gonna jam it down your throat gangster style type situation. And that is just so that people will keep playing in these damn games.
So what you're telling me is the same people that walked out are going to go back in. They're going to cut the deal before they go back. And this is going to basically, you know, it may have a great opportunity of these voting integrity laws passing, is what you're telling me. Because according to Hot Wheels, when they walked out, he said he could have sent the Texas DPS to go arrest them and make them come back in. See, that's what I'm telling y'all. When they go back, that man gonna have DPS at that door. And they not coming up out of there until they vote on what they need to vote on. Because technically, the session is not completed because you have several bills that need to be voted on. Am I correct, Donovan?
Correct. Yeah, the session stays open, especially a special session, until the state's business is done.
Well, here's the thing. Let's talk about the symbolism of the great white hope politician for the African American communities. You know, right now that's Beto ORourke that they're going to bring through on the Democratic side eventually. I'm even hearing Matthew McConaughey. It might run for governor on the Democratic side, but you know, I don't know. But I am not infatuated with politicians that make promises and never seem to own up to the promises that they make, and they leave the people hanging. And as I'm watching, you know, I couldn't see everything, but as I'm passing out the clothes, I'm looking at the community. And all I'm telling the people, look at your community. These people say they're working for us. They say they're doing everything. Look at this community and you tell me if they're working for us. And I mean, they parading them around like they rock stars right now, but don't have a clue that when it's all said and done, these same people are going to, what you said, capitulate?
They are going to capitulate completely.
And they're going to bow down, and they are going to do what they need to do so that it is what it is. But Beto ORourke, just like in a lot of other races, a lot of other states, you have this white man that has popped up who I think they want to be the second coming of John F. Kennedy, but he will not be. That is not going to happen. And, you know, you bringing out rappers and all that. And, you know, I'm looking at the mayor making speeches, all the black elected officials who ain't did nothing for our community. Want you to put your muscle behind this man. At this stage, you've tried to run for president. You've tried to run for state senate. I mean, for senator. And now you're trying to run for governor. Y'all trying to find a spot for him. But, you know, I think maybe he in the spot that the higher power wanted him in. And if that's the case, I don't think with folks trying so hard to get him in to be the governor of the state of Texas, I just think we won't get nothing out the deal again.
No, you know, and you bring up great points with that, because I think Texas is very representative of what is going on in the nation as a whole, like basically on the federal level in regards to the Democrats and the Republicans. If you guys notice, have you guys heard former Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed is going back and filed his papers to be mayor of Atlanta. Now, 5-Star, about a month ago or so, you said that when old girl Bottoms bowed out, even though she just won re-election or whatever, and she could win re-election by the numbers, by 75%, it was you that basically said that, oh, they've already got somebody in the wings waiting to come in. Now, remember, under Kasim Reed, developers and people in Atlanta never made as much money. And remember, he left under a cloud of corruption within his administration. And all of a sudden now he's come back and you've switched black girl magic with the guy that is basically gentrifying all of Atlanta and all this other stuff. And this is what's happening in the Democratic Party across the nation. I believe Texas is a test bed of what they're going to do. The Democrats have realized that they have dropped the ball, and they're bringing out all of their big guns now to establish them now before, you know, it gets too late in the season, and, you know, so they can change the narrative and work the narratives as they can now. That's why they're showing all their hands now to the candidates that they want, so that people can get behind these people early. And the people that are going to get behind these people are the regular civil rights era pastors and all of that stuff like that. Right now, the coffers are open, and all the people that are willing to do the Democratic bidding is coming out from under their rocks. And like I said, I got to give it to you. You did call that with Keisha Bottoms for her to have just, I quit. And they're bringing in this guy that basically is a tool of white supremacy.
Well, it's the same old playbook. You know, they go find who they want, and they gonna put the muscle behind them. In the state of Texas, it's a little bit different than Georgia. I can tell you that right now. That especially with the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party in the state of Texas is a mess. It's a mess, man. And what I see them doing, which is a great strategy, I just don't think they have the right people speaking on their behalf, is they're targeting the forgotten vote. They're targeting the less fortunate African Americans in the very, very poor communities that are of young age. So they're going to go after them. But at the same time, I don't think it's going to work. They have to put more work in the rural counties, because they seem to forget about the rural counties when elections come. And that's where the Republicans have a stronghold, in the rural counties. And if you can't win those rural counties, it doesn't matter if you have what I call the big four: Austin, Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. You automatically, we know what you're going to do in some of them cities. But it's them rural counties that keep beating them up. So, you know, they're looking for any and everything that they can use to try to entice people to get behind these votes. And the big thing right now that they're using is these voter suppression laws. Cut it out. My good friend Arvid Taylor wrote an article the other day, and he broke that thing down. Well, all he did was report what Colleen Vera from Texas Trash Talk had reported, where they're continuously finding dead people that have voted, you know, early in the early voting. How do you request a ballot for an election? Get the ballot, sign the ballot, send it back, and you're dead. How did that work? I'm trying to figure that out. And I'm watching people, oh, this is fake. For real? How does that work? So now they're targeting the less fortunate African Americans. You're going to go around to the fifth wards and the third wards and the South Oak Cliffs in Dallas and spots like that. You know what I'm saying? The east side of Austin. You're going to go around to those black neighborhoods to try and convince these people that you need to get with the Democratic Party. Well, here, Donovan, you tell me. It's okay to get with the Democratic Party if in the end you're getting something for your vote. But you can't show us what you're doing. These people are talking about turn your air conditioner off in the state of Texas right now. Y'all was in Austin 3 months. What did you do? And honestly, you can't say this is a surprise, because when it happened in the winter, they gave you fair warning that it could happen in the summer. So what did you do to fix it? So if you're down there in Austin and you're working, and some of them actually do. My good friend, State Representative Ron Reynolds, busts his behind. But some of y'all, nothing. You know, in the state of Texas, you got several people that are running for governor. Michael Cooper. You got Deidre Dixon Gilbert running for governor. When are you going to turn your head and say, well, you know what? Let me look at some of these people. Because the same old playbook going to keep us in the same old space. You see what I'm saying? It's going to keep us in the same old space. So, impressed with Beto. I've never been impressed with Beto. I'm being honest with y'all. I've never, might be a great guy, but from a political standpoint, I feel like people are pushing him to do something that his heart is not into. So if his heart is not into it, the people will suffer if he wins his whole term. That's the way that I feel.
Well, yeah. I mean, what Beto ORourke out of El Paso, he was a former congressman. I don't know. I can't remember how many terms he did. He ran for Senate. He ran for president. I mean, yeah, like you said, he has this John Kennedy youth thing going on. But I always say this when it comes to people who run for office. Let's check your paperwork. Let's see what you've done. Now, he was in Congress, I don't know how many years. What did he do while he was in Congress? Is El Paso his district? Is it better, better looking? Did he open up the borders there to make it easier for immigration? And I'm bringing this up because, like I said, I'm in California. I don't care about immigration personally because it doesn't affect me personally. Black people were the only people that vote and get nothing for the vote, and we vote about stuff that's inconsequential to us. The Muslim ban is not my issue. Why would I care if the Muslim ban doesn't affect me? But everybody, oh, Trump is stopping the Muslims from coming into the country. Okay, so you're going to use your vote for another group of people who don't give a damn about you and won't even stand up for you to this very day. Okay, so we're the only people that use our vote for that. But I look at Beto ORourke and I say, well, yeah, he's got this white hope thing going on like that. But what does his paperwork say? Where is the work? Like I said, I could look at people like the 5-star who's running for school board, and I can say, you know what? He's a little unconventional. He's very passionate about what he's doing, but let me check his paperwork. And you know what? I checked his paperwork, and it's more than what I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? He's put in the work. These are the type of people we should be voting for and putting in office. But we're just so used to the Democratic Party just telling us, these are your leaders. This is who you should vote for. They pick and choose who the winners and the losers are. And we've got to get out of that and start taking the country back. These people do not belong to the Democratic Party. They belong to the people who sent them to Congress. This is why I like Ron Reynolds when he came on the show. He said, I'm upheld to the people who put me up into office, not the Democratic bullshit party or whatever else was going on. You know what I mean? And that's the key. When you understand that the people who sent you there and you're doing the work for them, you don't have to worry about your job. You don't have to worry about term limits. Just do your job and the people will keep sending you back. But if you're not doing your job, we will get rid of you.
Yeah, I'm a big Ron Reynolds fan, man. They try to trash him every now and then, but it is what it is. He's one of those guys that goes down there and hardly ever gets any sleep. He's the real whip of the Democratic Party when he is in Austin. And he's not even technically the whip, but he's the real whip. He the muscle. Let's just put it like that. He the muscle. I think, and I appreciate what you said about me, that, when I look at my push card, and on the back, you see a collage of pictures of me doing different things. Well, that was all after I lost the first time. That wasn't before I ran. That was after I lost that I put that work in, and I didn't put the work in to run again. I put the work because I wasn't going to run again. I put the work in just because it needed to be done. I didn't have to do what I did yesterday, but I know my people needed help. You see what I'm saying? And we didn't go around to their side where all the people were and the politicians, and we were on the backside of the park, servicing the people who were grateful that we were there. You see what I'm saying? So I just don't respect what this dysfunctional Democratic Party in the state of Texas is doing. You look at the pastors that are involved with the Democratic Party. You look at all the players. You pull the paperwork. You see where the money really comes from. And then you look at who actually benefits from the laws and legislation that is actually made. It ain't the people. It's their political interest that seem to benefit the most. And that's why this weekend, we're going to debut a new show. If y'all don't mind, we're going to debut a new show this Saturday, June 19th. And this is what it kind of looks like. Let me show you real quick. Let me show you real quick. And then you tell me. Let me make sure I got it up there. And this is what we're going to be talking about on this show, Donovan. Hold on. Now, the new show is called Dirty Politics. Dirty Politics. And we're going to talk about it. Now, here's the thing. If you're not on our radar, you won't be on our show. But if you're on our radar, you dirty as all outdoors. And we're going to gut you. So people have heard of some of these people, but now you get to see all three of us in one little form. And Donovan, you may be a special contributor some days because you know it. And it is what it is. My man Chuck Mahler, former FBI. Aubrey Taylor, you know, Business Connections magazine. And of course, 5-star, one of the dirtiest players in the game. And we're going to talk about dirty politics and we're going to break this down. So my question to you, Donovan, should these people, especially in the African-American community, should they trust the Democratic Party who's pushing Beto ORourke?
The simple answer to that is no, because the Democratic Party up for the last 60 years hasn't shown Black people a damn thing. If somebody could outright tell me what has the Democratic Party done in the last 60 years for Black people, I would say, sure, why not? But they're showing you time and time again, they're not doing anything. We just have a president that has been in office just under 200 days, got into office with the Black vote, and has yet to do anything. And people that supported this man are silent. They are going on vacations. They're leaving the country, you know, trying to not to bring it up because they don't know what to say in regards to helping us once again mislead the people in the wrong direction. So no, the Democratic Party ain't gonna happen.
Okay, so the forgotten vote, and I call that the 18 to 30-year-old vote that, you know, they just have never really went after. They just said the hell with them. They were not important. A lot of these people live in poor communities, whether they're Black, Latino, or whatever. And the thing is, how do they, what strategies can they use to convince them to vote? Instead of just trying to convince them to vote, they're trying to convince them to vote democratically. So what strategies do you think they're going to use to try to convince these people in these communities that have been underserved, have been totally forgotten? What strategies you think they're going to try to use?
Well, you know, number one, they're going to come up with the excuse of, because they are projected to lose the House and probably the Senate in the midterms. So they're going to come up with the excuse of, hey, we need your vote because, you know, we're being obstructed by the Republicans. Well, damn, if you know that you're going to be obstructed by the Republicans in a little over a year from now, why aren't you doing what you need to do now? So they're going to use that. They're going to use, you know, we got Donald Trump out, but see, he wants to come back, so we got to keep him out. They're going to use the Donald Trump thing. And then they're going to use the excuse of budgetary constraints due to the COVID.
So are they being obstructed by the Republicans, or are they being obstructed by Democrat Joe Manchin? I mean, yeah, because I'm confused. I'm confused now, you know. Are they being obstructed by the Republicans who don't have enough votes to stop them to do anything? Or are they being obstructed by one of their own Democratic colleagues?
Yes, and that's exactly it. Joe Manchin, one man, is obstructing the whole agenda. And he gets sometimes support based on what the issue is from Kristen Sinema from Arizona. And, you know, this man has a lot on his plate, and he decides to go overseas to meet with the white supremacists in Europe to, you know, tie things up there. But yet we have problems here in this country. An infrastructure bill is a very important situation in regards to climate change and all that other stuff. But yet he rather have the bill stall and get nothing done and point fingers, and his ass is over in Europe. Europe is doing perfectly fine without the United States being over there. And, you know, so, you know, and then half of his agenda when it comes to minority issues and Black issues, he's given to Kamala Harris, who doesn't know what the hell she's doing because she, number one, I'm not saying she's not qualified, ladies. What I'm saying is she doesn't have the background to deal with the issues that was put on her plate. How many of you guys have ever heard of, other than Dick Cheney, and that had to do with war, deal with policy that a president is supposed to be championing? He's the one with the bully pulpit. He's the one with the executive orders. He's the one with the power.
Another thing that I'm confused by is they said in the last election, more black people voted than ever before. Am I correct? Right?
Correct.
And these were under the old regime, and now they're saying that a lot of black people are not going to be able to vote. Well, if more black people voted than ever before, and I've never seen this done, maybe I have and I just missed it, why are they out so early pandering for the black vote? These people are spending millions of dollars to go from city to city to pander the black vote right now. More than I've ever seen in any election cycle. But yet you said more black people than ever before voted. More black people than ever before voted. So I'm confused on that one, bro.
Well, what it is, people are seeing for the, not for the first time, but, they've seen it for a long time. They just don't want to believe it. They're seeing that they didn't get nothing for their vote. They're seeing all these other groups being pushed in front of them that don't have the numbers and being a protected class and all this. And they're losing a lot of the black vote. Let's just be frank. The last cycle, the first cycle, Trump got 13% of the black vote. This cycle, he got 16. He increased in all of his numbers. So unilaterally, all these black folks voted for the worst candidate that was out there, basically, got this clown into office. And yet he does nothing for the group that puts him in. And so a lot of people, especially the younger folks and stuff, the progressives, he's not doing nothing in the progressive wing. The whole thing is being exposed, and the Democratic Party is just like, we have to get out there and spend this money because we are not doing what we should be doing. But then again, white supremacy is like, we don't give a shit. However, they're seeing that until they can suppress that vote, and notice this, I'm glad you brought up voter suppression. Is not the federal law the law of the land? It is the law of the land. So if the Democrats control the House and the presidency, any state that brings up a voter suppression law could easily be overturned by federal law. So if they're threatened by these states doing this, where's the legislation to stop the states from doing what they're doing? They don't want to do.
Joe Manchin.
Exactly.
He's a Democrat that's stopping what they need to do. But you want to blame it on the Republicans, but you don't want to drag Manchin. So when is the Congressional Black Caucus going to stand up against this white Democrat who's the one that's really obstructing everything that you're trying to do? You see what I'm saying? Joe Manchin is your problem, but yet you're going to bring that on the Republicans. So I'm watching and I'm learning. I'm watching and I'm learning. And I have never seen them pander the black vote this early in an election cycle. And I mean, to the degree they look for anything derogatory that they feel they can throw on the Republican Party. And the thing is, but you're never talking about your strong points. You're never talking about what you've done for the people.
Right, their platform. They're not talking about it.
Okay, so answer this. What is the Democratic Party's platform?
They want to do an infrastructure bill, and they wanted to get economic access to more credit and debt to the minority communities. That's the only thing I've heard so far.
And as long as you send it from the feds to the state to city government, the city government is going to pick and choose who they want to give the money to. They're not going to give it to the neediest of the needy. They're going to give it to their friends. They're going to give it to their friends, and therefore your community will continue to look the same because your Democratic Party is placating the fact that they're playing you. They are playing you. And I mean, I was in two of the roughest neighborhoods in the city yesterday and got mad love. Mad love. And I could talk just like I'm talking because them my people. I'm in 5th Ward with a 3rd Ward jersey. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nothing but love. And I got love for them. But they could relate to me better because they could see what he's actually out here doing the work. So I'm trying to figure out what is the platform of the Democratic Party. How are you going to manifest that platform when you have done nothing for us in the last 60 years?
Well, you know, it's going to be hard for them to manifest a platform when the New Black media has kept the subject on reparations and police reform. And they don't want to do that. What did Joe Biden say? He wants to give more money to the police department to be more equipped to be ignorant about their jobs. I mean, you know, it's just one of those crazy things. We can't pass a symbolic John Lewis bill. We can't pass a George Floyd bill, and the man just got choked out last year. It stalled, but the anti-Asian crime bill passes on the first try. I mean, when it comes to the CBC, you guys, and let's just be honest and frank. A young Black child was shot by an Asian man. If you go to the CBC's website, you will find that the CBC said nothing about it. All those Asian celebrities that were saying, yeah, we're being discriminated against, whatever, they said nothing about it. The CBC this year, it is their goal to do a listening tour. What this listening tour is actually, it is their way of vacationing and enjoying themselves on the public dollar as they celebrate their 60-something year of existence. Now, how many of you guys have the local NAACP chapter and they always a meeting in Las Vegas and stuff, but you can't go because you're not a delegate of your area? But it seems like the same people, older people always go, and it's always one of your aunts or somebody that gets to go, and they're going to all these places where they're meeting. What do they do at these meetings? All you see the CBDC talking about and their listening tour is them going to museums and just doing, you never see them sitting there doing an agenda and taking serious notes from what the people are doing. You guys saw it just like I did. They went to Tulsa, and what were they doing? Buck dancing just for your entertainment.
Pariah has a great comment. We actually had a big joker right now. How we gonna play it? Well, if you ain't never played spades, then you don't know what the big joker is.
Wait. Are we playing the version where the big joker pulls out your biggest spade?
I don't know, but I know if I got the big one, I'd do some things with that one. So the big joker is your vote. The big joker is holding your vote. Why would you go out and vote for people that they tell you to vote for when 4 years ago you did that and you didn't get nothing? Why would you do it again? Just to be able to say, I went to the rally and I shook Beto's hand? I don't give a damn about taking no picture with Beto ORourke. I don't give a damn about that. I give a damn about the fact that Beto ORourke was in Finnegan Park and the night before somebody got shot in the neck right across the street at the Coke Apartments. What are y'all gonna do about that? I give a damn that Beto ORourke was in Finnegan Park, but when I pulled up right there on the side next to the Coke Apartments, it's more trash on the ground than in the dumpsters. No grass cut. You see what I'm saying? It looks horrible. So, and I know that's not his job. That's more of city council, but the shit rolls downhill. Let's just get that straight. The shit rolls downhill. So why would you continue to go in and do the same things over again and don't get anything out the deal? And I'm sitting there, how you black people are buck dancing for this dude yesterday. They go grab the local entertainer. They bring out Trey the Truth. Trey, look, you good at, helping people after disasters, man. Stay out that political arena, bro. Stay out that political arena, bro. Because realistically, Trey, if you got the money you say you got Republican money. You get the tax break that Republicans get. Let's just be 100 with it. That's all it boils down to. I'm reading your comment, Donovan. Any candidate should be asked, what is your black agenda? No agenda, no vote. Simple. Simple. But who do you trust more to run your black agenda? A white politician who they're pushing for any position that comes up? I think he might run for dog catcher after this here because he got his ass whooped in every race he done jumped in. So what's next for Beto? You know, you got all these old fake groups out here and these old Negro pastors over there at the event yesterday. You ready to run through the hood because you want some more grant money. And you ready to convince people to vote for these people? You're not voting in the best interest of the people. You want them to vote in the best interest for you, so it can continue to line your pockets.
Well, you know, here's my thing, and this is what you got to understand about the political machine. They keep certain people in certain places because these people are known and they generate money and they get donations, whatever, right? Who was that brother in Atlanta? He was running for Senate, I guess, or I forgot what. Yeah, he was running for Senate. He was against the other dude or whatever. He was running for something. And he raised record number of money in Georgia. And he lost. I mean, he lost badly. I mean, he got wiped out, you know. And so what the Democratic Party do, instead of letting him go into obscurity, they made him the DNC chair. And that's why I think if Beto loses this next election, they're going to move him to the DNC chair, either of a state or the national party. And they keep these people employed because we love symbolism and we love the people that we're used to being around. Like I said, please explain to me here in California how Aunt Maxine has, with her record of nothing in her district, how can these people hold on to power for 30 years and people just go, even though I live in a war zone, I'll vote for her again. This is how they do it. People just love something that they're familiar with.
I think that it's time for a new wave of black politicians to come through. I think it's time for younger, ideologies to be heard. I think that it's time for a change because all they're doing is recycling these black politicians. Let's look at it like this here. You got somebody run for city council in Houston. Okay, they lose that. They go run for comptroller. They win that. They stay there. They lose. Then they go and they chunk them on the school board. These people are recycled. If they failed on city council, they're going to be trash on the school board. And that's been proven. You see what I'm saying? It's been proven. We're constantly recycling failed black politicians, and we have no justification for it. And yet we still want to say, and I don't know how y'all let these people come through. You will scrutinize me as a candidate, left, right, front, back, side to side, like UGK say. But these people can flat out lie in your face. Come back to your community, to your churches. We've done the work. What motherfucking work you did? What work did you do when the crime rate is 39% higher this year than it was last year? I want to see the Sally Alcorns at large positions. I want to see the Edward Pollards who own city council come back through these neighborhoods when it's time to run again and tell these people you've done the work. When people in your community getting their heads cut off, children are being killed on a daily basis, and you are doing the work. You know what's so sad, bro? Over the weekend, Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad sent me an article. You know that plan that we created to stop violence? Let me show you something. Remember, I went into the South Lawn community about 3 weeks to a month ago. Ever since I went in there, they shooting there every night. Ever since I went in there, there's been shootings all over the city except for there. But you won't endorse or fund our plan. So the city of Dallas has used a portion of that plan. to do exactly what we said we were going to do. Now, hopefully they are successful, because nobody needs to be dying out here in these streets. But why won't Houston do it? You know why they won't do it? Because they need your neighborhoods to implode. They need them to implode to finish the gentrification that they want to do. You see what I'm saying? So I don't give a damn who you are in the city of Houston. Show me a black politician who's done their job in the last 4 years. Show me one. Now, I don't want you to think, oh, he just don't like them. No, I asked the question. Just show me one who's done their job based on what they ran on. You're not going to buck the mayor if you're on city council. You know how the game go if you're on city council in Houston. You have a meeting before the meeting. The mayor tells you what he wants. You do it. If you choose not to do it, he'll cut your personal budget for your district. You think I would give a damn if you cut it? I would let the people know you cut it. This is the way the game is played. So name me a black politician in the city of Houston that has done their job in the last 4 years.
See, and that's where it's going. Like I said, a lot of stuff has been exposed. A lot of people have a problem with, oh, well, hold the vote. Black people died, so you have the right to vote. No, they didn't. Black people did not die, so you have the right to vote. Black people have died so that you get something for your vote. Nobody's just going to let you just vote for nothing. That doesn't make any sense. So withholding your vote is the same as going into a store window shopping. If you don't see nothing you want, do you leave your money and just walk out? No, you just wait until something comes by that hits you. But in regards to Houston politics, though, Sly Turner, he's on his last term, right? So what is the future for Mayor Turner?
I don't have a clue. I wish him well when he goes. I don't have a clue what the future holds for him. Maybe he may run for lieutenant governor or governor, God forbid. But I mean, he won't win the rural counties. And that ain't no hating on him. I just don't feel that they'll vote for him in the rural counties. I think we need to really focus on Hot Wheels as well as Dan Patrick. And the thing is, they need to be primaried. And I think they are going to be primaried. I mean, a lot of Republicans are not happy with Hot Wheels and Dan Patrick. So if the Republicans are not happy with them, can you imagine how the Democratic stronghold feels about them? You see what I'm saying? So the thing that I like about the Republican Party is when they fed up with their politicians, they get rid of them. They get rid of them, bro. They got a higher turnover rate than Walmart. They get rid of them. But the Democratic Party will keep putting these suckers in there. They go in young suckers and come out old suckers. They play the same games that they've been playing forever. I'm not impressed with it. And when I win school board, I'm not coming to your parties. I'm not kicking it with you. None of that. You didn't mess with me when I was just a rebel rouser. Ain't that what y'all call me? Well, don't mess with me now that I'm a school board trustee. Don't need your help. Don't need your backing. Don't need anything from you. See, because we need to put people in office that are passionate about affecting the black community in a positive manner. We can't keep putting the BS in there, because when you put shit into shit, all you're going to get out of it is a bunch of shit.
That is exactly what you get out of that. But, speaking of the Democratic Party in regards to black people, let's run down some of the policies and promises that were given. We were told that if we voted for this man, we would get $2,000 if we get the two people senators in Georgia elected. We did that. He gave us an additional $600, which was or $400, which was bullshit, because Trump gave us the initial $1,600 or whatever it was. Then he said, "You vote for me, additional stimulus checks are on the way." Nobody's talking about that. School loan forgiveness. What happened to that? They ain't talking about that. Reparations for black folks. You heard what he said last week. Don't count on that. He said that in a private meeting with the CBC and all these other bootlegs. He said, don't even count on reparations, give that up. And he said that while he was in Tulsa meeting with the Black congressional members. And what's the other thing? A vote on reparations. We can't even get a vote on a study of reparations. So we wonder why the Democratic Party is losing support, using the black vote. Nothing that they have promised us has come to fruition yet.
Now, everything that you just named, who's stopping that? Is it the Republicans or is it the Democrats themselves?
Exactly. You know, a lot of people will say, well, the Republicans aren't going to vote for it. They don't need to. They, like you said, the Democrats have the votes. Joe Manchin is holding up the whole thing.
What you're basically telling the people is if they put it up and all the Republicans vote no, it don't matter. They got all the votes. They got all the votes. So who's really holding? And I know a lot of y'all watch this program. You are praying that the war zone blows up. You're praying that Demetra, Donovan, and 5 Star have a bad argument and we just come up missing because you don't want us to preach this sermon. It's not the Republicans holding up anything. It's the Democrats. Your own party is in so much disarray that you can't seem to tie your damn shoes no more. And that's what it is. If we want term limits for senators, like Harmony, Peace, Tranquility is saying, we need a term limit for senators and representatives. Federal law enforcement must retire by the age of 57. They have enough votes to do it. But if that's the case, they'd have to grandfather a couple of them in, because some of these motherfuckers is 107 right now.
In Harmony, you got a good point, because to be a pilot, to fly within the United States on a commercial airline, the max age, I think, is 65. You have to retire. And that's with a waiver. So,
FBI agents have to retire at 53.
Right. So, you know, so if the president can only serve 2 terms, why can't they come up with a solution or a problem of the numbers? Because you want some experienced people in there. But damn, 5 terms in Congress, that's 10 years. I think that's enough time for you to make your little money and get the fuck on.
Well, Kiki Will says on another page, there's a lot of Republican-minded Democrats. Boy, the woman is prophetic.
Yes, Kiki is always.
It's a lot of Republican-minded Democrats. So I think that you guys should expose them. Joe Manchin is what? A Republican-minded Democrat.
Yeah, he's a Republican actually posing as a Democrat, just like Dianne Feinstein. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but here's the thing. As we said earlier, you keep voting these people back in. So you're still putting them back in office. You need a new wave of Democrats. The same way that they did in Houston with Black Girl Magic, and they had that wave of Black female judges. You need a new wave of Black Democrats, because the ones that you have, if slavery was to start tomorrow, they all would be working in the big house, because they've sold us out years and years ago. They've sold us out. And you see what I'm saying? They need, and it ain't just Joe Manchin. Let's just say that.
Yeah, there's a lot of Democrats that are a whole bunch of them. Why they won't even bring a vote. Nancy Pelosi, she won't even let a vote of reparations study get to the floor. What's her problem?
It is what it is.
And real quick, how many of you guys heard this weekend, or no, I think it was Sunday, Donald Trump made now Donald Trump, the one y'all, we just got to get Trump out. Donald Trump told a news reporter something that America needs reparations from China. Now, here's an idiot president, a man that basically has a 6th grade education, born into wealth. He understands reparations and why it needs to be paid. His justification for China paying us is we were hurt. The United States was economically hurt, financially hurt. People lost their jobs. We were impacted. So China needs to pay us reparations. Well, golly, if this man has that type of thinking and he understands reparations to that aspect and to that point, why can't we get reparations for Black people? I mean, you gave $30 billion to Native Americans. You gave, I think it was not 30, yeah, 30 billion to natives. It was, I think, 15 million or 30 million to the Asians in their Asian bill. None of these bills pass if there ain't no money in it. Okay, there's money in it for these groups, but you can't give Black folks nothing. But y'all had to get Donald Trump out. I can almost guarantee if we had a representative, a Black man that, or a Black representative that had the cojones, even if you're a woman, to go up there and say, you know what, Don, hey, you know, these Negroes need reparations. Just give them something. And they presented him a bill. I had no doubt this man would just sign it because you know what? It ain't his money. He doesn't care. Sure, give it to him. Why not? Did he not start the First Step Act? He didn't even know what the First Step Act was. And they asked him this after he signed it. He was like, what did I sign? So here we are.
So do you think in about 2.5 years, so that's what it's going to be, that one, do you think in the next 2.5 years they're going to lose the House and the Senate? And do you think Trump is coming back?
I have no doubt the Democrats will lose the House and the Senate in 2.5 years because they would have to do something prolific for Black, specifically for Black people. Okay, Black people. If not, they're going to lose it. So I have no doubt they're going to lose that. And yes, I do think Trump will run. Now, if he's going to win, that's a different story. But I do think he will run for the simple fact that he needs to run to avoid a lot of litigation that he's involved in. But I really doubt he's going to win. But the Democrats are hoping he runs because that will give them the leverage to tell you people out there, look, you saw what happened last time this guy was in there. Y'all got to vote. I know y'all don't like us. I know we didn't come through for y'all. But if this man comes back, it's going to be Armageddon. And they're going to use the scare tactic to make these Negroes vote Democrat again.
Now, do you think that on a daily basis, because they're not doing anything for Black America, do you think that they're losing Black votes?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're hemorrhaging Black votes right now because every day or just about every day, Black people are seeing nothing is being done in regards to our safety, in regards to our well-being, in regards to our future. Right now, when they lift this moratorium, who's going to be the most affected by it? They're not even talking about it. We're going to be losing homes again. And they're not even talking about it. And the Black people that look like us, that are supposed to look out for us, aren't even concerned as a lot of people are going to be out in the streets. And fellas, hold on. Excuse me, ladies. But right now in my area, they're selling pussy for $30. The price is going to drop to $15.
But where I'm from, it's still 40. It's still $40. You know, that trash that for $40 in the club. And that's what it is. I think my African American people. Now, Ragnar, I agree with you. He says that's why they have to keep up the racial
I agree
unrest.
with that.
I totally agree with that. That they keep the racial unrest up to be able to make it look like, and that's why I'm beating the drum tonight. Is it really the Republicans that are holding us back right now? Or is it really the Democrats who camouflaging like they Democrats, but they really Republicans under their skin, are the ones that are really doing you in? So what I need for African Americans to do is think. You have a lot of time to research these people. It don't take long. You can Google their names. You can Google their names. You can put a name in and on the side of the name, put negative comments and watch what pop up on your favorite Negro politician. You would be amazed at what pops up. So no matter if it's in local elections are to me the most important. We have some local elections that are going to come up in November. We need to be on it. We got a lot of judge, people running for judge, different positions. You need to research your candidates. You feel what I'm saying? You need to research your candidates, do your homework, and then make a conscious decision. Don't let your Negro pastor be the one to tell you who to vote for. Don't let the person over the union that you in be the one to tell you to vote for, because they're only looking out for their own personal interests. They're not looking out for yours. Final thoughts, Mr. Donovan.
Again, another great show, another great bunch of guests out there and friends out there with the great comments that we're learning. I love reading you guys' comments. Demetria, hopefully, will be back tomorrow and the rest of this week. She's got a lot of stuff going on. Father's Day weekend, I guess, is coming up this weekend. So for all you dads out there, happy Father's Day. I hope you guys don't have to barbecue. I hope the ladies will take us out like we take them out and, do the damn thing. But final thoughts is, you guys keep your ear to the streets, because this is what's going to be important. They tell you this every election cycle. For Black people, this is the most pivotal election of your lifetime. The most pivotal election of your lifetime. You're damn right. This one is, because if we don't get this shit right, we've got 9 years. And like I said, I don't see the Democratic Party holding the White House either if they don't do anything prolific. So that's my final thoughts. You guys just be safe out there.
My final thoughts are simple, man. It's time for you to do the homework. It's time for you to become a student of politics. And you need to research these people. And if you need help, let us know. We can tell you how to get to them campaign finance reports to see where these people are really getting their money from, because it's a whole bunch of Democrats getting Republican money out there. It's a whole bunch of them Negro pastors getting Republican money out there. And yet they're telling you, you need to vote straight ticket Democrat. Watch your skin folk, because some days they ain't your kin folk, partner. Say another spirited discussion from the best in the business, the War Zone. Every night, 7 o'clock, YouTube and Facebook. The Queen Demetria K was out tonight, but my good friend Donovan Sadiq was in the building, along with the 5-star general. And I'm going to tell you something. We'll debut the brand new campaign video later this week. Make them mad. And I promise you, I'm going to make them mad. And I can't wait until they swear me in, because the shit going to hit the fan. Until tomorrow night, we'll holler at you.